What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Musi Gaming here, and today we have a special video for myself and the community, and that is an account progression update video for our boy Sticky D Rice. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Sticky, Sticky has been a loyal and honestly fun member of our community for the last, I don't know, half a year that I've actually had this channel. And I think he was one of the first few subscribers to the channel, as well as first few people who have requested for account coaching series. So in today's video, we're going to be actually comparing Sticky D Rice's account right now versus what he actually had about half a year ago. And then we'll be kind of showcasing how much he has improved for his account for each march that he has showcased in this video. So it's going to be really exciting. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right to it. So Sticky D Rice, everyone. So first things first, he has actually won the latest Zenith power skin for a 16% attack called Sands of Time. Now, the reason why this city skin is important because this is the first city skin that is universal city skin that has given more than 12% of all troop of any stats. And ever since the release of the new KVK technology, attack has become more valuable than ever. In fact, this city skin for each troop type, that is infantry, cavalry, and archer, is top 3 Zenith power city skin for each troop type. So this city skin is actually very valuable, and hence we have seen some crazy competition in any cluster that you're in. So the fact that he has won this Zenith power city skin is a big win for him. And as a matter of fact, he was actually going for the very first spot within his cluster. And you guys can see that his cluster, I think the top 10 would have been based on the top 9, 9's total score. I would say it was, I think if you hit like 30 million power push, he would have won it either way. But you guys can see that he wanted the first place. I was like, why don't you just go ahead and, hit, I don't know, 40 million power, so save some speed ups. But no, he had enough speed ups, and he really wanted that first place for the Zenith power skin. So congratulations, Sticky, once again. And he was also so kind enough for me to, him to me showcase to me that the power push, the first like 10-20 million power push on a stream, and I on a video, and then I actually did post that video, and a lot of people have actually enjoyed that. So I'm glad that he was able to actually get to the 60 million power and also push for the first place. Congratulations once again, Sticky, you deserve it. And yeah, first place, guys, first place. That is absolutely crazy. Now, with that said, let's just compare him to what he was and where he was, I think 6 months ago. And you guys can see that the difference is absolutely crazy. You guys can see that power level, he was at 73 million power. Now he actually has literally double of the power that he had back in February, March when he actually submitted this. And he has also gained 1.1 billion kill points, which is actually pretty good. So I think the most impressive part is that he doubled the power throughout the last Zenith power push. Man, that is crazy. But hey, very big progression, I would say, even within the kill point size. So good job, Sticky. Very proud of you in terms of how much you actually came since I've known you. And he actually had a couple updates on the troops that he run on the open field marching. And then he's first of all, he is actually rally or garrison lead for his kingdom at 1687. I believe he's still at 1678, 87. I know that he was thinking about potentially moving out of the kingdom, but I'm not sure how that's going, to be really honest. I don't think there is much that I can reveal at this point. But yeah, he is currently at 1687. He is the main, as far as what I know, he's the main rally or garrison lead for his kingdom. And with that said, let's take a look at his kit. Now, his first kit, which is going to be actually his main rally or garrison kit, his equipment is absolutely top notch. He's running Iconic 5, infantry helmet, weapon, and then the Hope Cloak, as well as the Eternal Knight, and Horn of Fury, as well as Ring of Doom. Wow, I forgot Horn of Fury's name for a second. So he's running Iconic 5 on almost all of his stuff. And the ones that he's missing Iconics of, which is the infantry set gloves and boots, those actually do not give you any combat bonus for Rally or Garrison. So as a matter of fact, he actually has the best most optimal setup for whatever equipment that he's using. The only improvement that he can make from this set is by giving him a KVK weapon and helmet, and then Iconic 5 and talenting it, and maybe potentially moving away from Eternal Knight and maybe the Sacred Grasp, Grisp, and maybe giving it a little bit of infantry, no, not infantry, leadership pants and boots or pants and gloves. So that's the only potential improvement that he can make on it. But this is as optimal as it gets for him, it looks like, for at this point. He did make some improvements on the ring, though, that he did actually Iconic 5 the ring, which will give him that extra buff whenever with I think 10% chance whenever you're attacking or something like that with a random buff, which is very, very nice. So he has made some improvements from his old time 6 months ago to his Rally or Garrison setup. He didn't really need that much improvement. Right now, he just basically optimized for whatever set that he has. He currently runs 4-piece infantry bonus, set piece bonus with helmet, weapon, gloves, and boots, which will give him extra 10% march speed, which will be great for the field as well. So very, very nice setup. And you guys can see that his armaments has taken a big improvement, despite the fact that whatever he had was absolutely crazy before. You guys can see that he went from special inscriptions armament setup for his arch to 4-piece special inscription setup with pincer. Not only that, he has made some improvements on attack, defense, and health/all damage all around. He went from 9% infantry attack to 11% infantry attack. He went from 10.4% infantry defense to 11.3% infantry defense. And he's running 7.2 infantry, no, all damage in general. And that is actually, if I were to calculate it in average of health that you can actually get from each and every troop that you can possibly run in Season of Conquest KVK, you can say that it is about 15.6% health equivalent. That is absolutely crazy, because that is actually more than what you can get from maximum health from armaments. If you max out every single stats on health for your whatever armament setup that you have, the maximum amount that you can get is actually 14% of health. But instead, he has 7.2% all damage. Again, that is equivalent to 15.6% health. And that is absolutely crazy. The fact that he made improvement from already almost perfect arch setup is crazy. But let's just go ahead and move on to his second set. So his second set, crazy enough for me, is that he only ran 2 infantry marches before. And now he runs far marches with 3 infantry marches. So one of those setup actually did not exist. So I'm going to actually say this setup did not exist, but this is his pincer setup number 2. And he's running really, really good gear. He's running the KVK helmet, KVK weapon critted, and also Hope Cloak critted, Eternal Knight critted, and then Drum and Horn of Fury for maximum rage generation, as well as 2-piece bonus for infantry set piece boost and gloves. So really, really good setup. I would say that's a really, really solid setup for any infantry number 2 for pincer. And look at that. On his second pincer setup, he has airtight, demolisher, toppler, and rattling. Now, the crazy part is that he has demolisher and toppler. That is the scroll special inscription, and then the instrument special inscription. Those two are actually the most important part of the pincer formation. It actually gives you so much buff that it makes Pincer Busted. Those are the two inscriptions that makes Pincer Busted. And he has special inscriptions on both of them for his second infantry set, which is absolutely crazy. Now, it does look like he is missing the fourth slot, which is the emblem, but his stats kind of makes up for it, where he has about if you add all of them together, it is more than 10%, 30%. And then rattling is, as good as it gets. Obviously you can't choose how many special inscriptions that you get, even if you spend a lot of money on this game, unless you actually hit all of those mileages. So very, very solid pincer setup. Again, the fact that he has Demolisher and Toppler on his second set is just absolutely crazy. I would say this is a very, very solid setup for his second pincer set. Now, his third infantry march is actually not a pincer setup, and I believe this is a wedge setup. And he has Ragnar on KVK weapon, helmet, Hope Cloak, and he has actually moved away from infantry gloves and boots to Sacred Crisp and Shio's Return. Now, I believe those were made because he was actually moving some of the equipments to the second infantry set, but very interesting. And I'm assuming that all those critted weapon and pens actually were moved to the second infantry set. But yeah, very decent set that he has. The fact that he's missing accessories kind of paining me a little bit, because at the end of the day, you get the most amount of buff from accessories, especially Horn of Fury. So yeah, if you can, Sticky, maybe you should actually try to give him at least the epic accessory for infantry for extra march speed, or things like Silent Trial would actually really help, because then you don't have to worry about putting Silent Trial on any other marches, especially because this is your third infantry march. But the fact that you actually made a whole new setup since we last talked is actually really, really good too. And you guys can see that he actually had a wedge formation with crazy armament setup. You guys can see that he had seven inscriptions on his last wedge setup. Now I do see that he has moved some of those to pincer, and now he's running on a very decent setup with 3.5% all damage and 6.3% infantry health and 5 inscriptions, with 2 of them being rare. And focus fire is very interesting, very important for wedge, because it does give you that extra skill damage. Boiling blood also gives you that 2.5% extra skill damage boost. So very, very nice. I would say very solid set for his third infantry setup. Now his cavalry actually did not make much of an improvement. It looks like, I don't think he has the Navarre's controls critted before. No, he critted the Navarre's control actually, which is pretty good. And then also at the same time, he has crafted a Ash of the Dawn, which didn't crit, and he's also missing accessories here. The only thing that I'll fix about his or change about his account from now onward to whatever he actually makes the improvements is to craft more of horn and drums or rings, for his cavalry and infantry number 3, so that they can actually perform better on the field. But outside of that, decent and very, very notable upgrade from what we had. He has the best cavalry setup for all the non-accessory pieces, so all he needs to do is now to craft some accessories for cavalry. And it looks like he was trying to reroll some stats question mark, and he had a little bit of downgrade in terms of attack and all damage, it looks like, but he did have 1.2% improvement from defense, and all the armor seems to be the same. So I'm assuming that he was trying to reroll some of the stats with like 1 transmutation stones, and he did take a little bit of downgrade here for the wedge formation, but overall looking pretty good. Usually a very solid setup, I would say, for anyone that will be running cavalry at the end of the day, is what I would say. And now he has a Qin Shi Huang setup as well. He's running a very interesting setup, which is a 2-2-2 setup with 2 pieces of KVK weapon and helmet, and Milky Way, and I forgot what the non-set piece for archers gloves were, but non-set credit gloves with two pieces of leadership set, pens and boots, which is very interesting. Usually, yeah, usually I see more of a dragon breast setup nowadays with the Qin Shi Huang, but I think this is what he had before. This is what he has now, and this is one of the more popular setups that has come into light, I believe, ever since the release of the leadership gear as well as the Crystal Tech revamp. So I think this is pretty good. The only thing that is missing is some accessories. I would say just for Chen Shi Huang's sake, I would say even like a blue flag might be really really good for Chen Shi Huang because he does need that extra march speed at the end of the day. But very solid setup. I'll change nothing from it except for some of the accessories additions. And you guys can see that the armaments did not change almost at all. He had a little bit of improvement from the attack and a 0.1% decrease from defense and 0.1% decrease from health. And that is still an improvement, I would say, from the old set. 1.3% attack is worth more than 0.1% of defense and health. So overall, I think that's really good. In terms of the the rare inscriptions or the normal inscriptions, there was no change at all. It looks like. Oh no, he's actually taking counter instead of deflector, which is good. So yeah, very solid setup, I would say. Improvement from last one has more than what would I say? 35% of stats, which is very solid. And yeah, that's everything that I have for you today in terms of everything that he has made. Overall, very solid and very strong setup. I would like to give a special shout out to Sticky for sending me everything that he had. Really, really exciting improvements, especially from the infantry side. Like the fact that you made something like that you didn't have before within such a short time kind of makes me understand that you didn't really have materials for you to craft the accessories for the last three marches. But regardless, I think you have a very solid setup. You had a solid setup before, but now I think it is a very solid setup regardless of who's taking a look at it. So congratulations, Sticky. Once again, Sticky, great job in terms of kill point improvement as well as power improvement. And congratulations once again for winning Zenith of Power first place in the last Zenith of Power event, man. I know that you were talking about potentially running for 12% health skin. It's not 12% health skin, but hey, 16% attack, probably as valuable as 12% health for infantry nowadays. So I'm really, really glad that you were able to win the first place for this. Really proud of you in terms of everything that you have made progress in the game as well as outside the game. So thank you again, Sticky, for sending me your stuff. Really, really appreciate it. And as always, I hope I'll see you around a lot more. I think that's all I will say. I know that you told me some stuff, but I'm not gonna say it in the video just in case it does cause you any negative stuff. But yeah, see you around more. Really appreciated having you in the community always. So I know I don't say this a lot and often, so I'm kind of like being a little weird Asian dad thing. Like I'm proud of your son kind of deal. So, but I am. I'm not your dad, but I am proud of your progression within Rise of Kingdoms as well as your real life. Good luck in whatever steps that you do, and just let me know. Keep me in touch. And for those of you who are watching this, I hope you guys are enjoying this video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because you'll be able to follow and see more growths like this that has basically lived with this channel from the very beginning. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and peace out, guys.